Hi, welcome to Firegroup Fireplaces and Stove Centre. My name is Trevor Fielding. I'm the manager here in Edinburgh of Scotland's largest fire and fireplace showroom. Here at Firegroup we have over 32 years experience in the fireplace and stove industry. We're also a HETAS registered company and our engineers are HETAS qualified to ensure the best possible choice and installation of your wood burning stove or multi-fuel stove. We also work closely with DEFRA, which is the Department of Environment, to ensure that you get a smoke exempt stove should you live in a built-up area across the central belt of Scotland. Today we're going to talk about some technical aspects of your stove and chimney systems. Two main types of stove that you can purchase, and a wood burning stove or a multi-fuel stove. The main difference between these two stoves is that wood is exactly that, it only burns wood. Multi-fuel means it burns wood and smokeless coal. In each stove, wood only takes air from the top of the stove through this lever at the top. Your smokeless coal takes air from the bottom of the stove through the grate at the bottom. So the main difference being, wood has a solid grate, multi-fuel has bars inside the stove. Now wood will burn hotter than your multi-fuel stove, just your wood burner. The smokeless coal will burn overnight if you want an overnight burning facility, but it's not as hot. Wood burning stoves are classed as carbon neutral stoves, as the energy given off is renewable, i.e. you can plant the trees and reburn more wood. But your smokeless coal, once it's gone, it's gone. To keep your wood burner burning effectively, so it's HETAS approved and DEFRA approved, the stoves have been modified that they have at least 20% air at any given time. Therefore you have complete combustion, therefore you do not have the smoke coming out your chimney. You should only see a heat haze as it goes out the chimney. You need to have your chimney swept at least once a year, and if you're using the stove all the time, preferably twice a year. So if you've used your stove through the winter, you're not using it in the summer, get it swept in the summer so you're ready for the heating season in the winter. Firegroup, Fireplace and Stove Centre, we provide this service. So just give us a call and we'll arrange this for you. The two most important aspects of any stove installation are the airflow into the stove and the chimney to take the products of combustion. These are the engine and the gearbox of your stove. Get these two right and you'll never have any problems. To increase the heat output of your stove, you simply push the air lever forward. To decrease, pull it back. This will either increase or decrease the heat output from your stove. As the air travels through your stove, also means the gases, as there's more heat from the fire, it's hotter gases going up the chimney. If you keep your stove in slumber mode, i.e. just ticking over, this will creosote up the chimney system, especially if you're burning wood. To clear that system at least once a week, give your stove a good blast of air, a lot of heat up the chimney, and this should clear the creosote from inside the chimney. To remember, you will always need a chimney or flue system for a wood burning stove or multi-fuel stove. Before we can install any wood burning stove or multi-fuel stove, we need to carry out a thorough chimney sweep and survey inspection report. This would highlight any problems within your existing chimney. If there was a problem or your chimney needed relined, we would reline it with a material like this, which is a 6-inch or 150mm internal diameter twin wall stainless steel liner. This liner must go all the way from the stove to the very top of the chimney. It is flexible to a degree, so therefore it will take the bends of your existing chimney. This is made with a 316 grade stainless steel and 316 grade stainless steel on the inside. This, if it's fitted correctly, comes with a 10-year guarantee and should last you for years and years. This means it's a much cheaper repair to your chimney. It's the correct diameter for the stove. You get a perfect draw. So this would give you a continuous chimney from the bottom of your stove all the way to the top of the chimney, the appropriate chimney can and cowl if required. If you don't have a chimney and we have to install you a chimney system, it's done by this system here. which is a rigid system. It's not flexible. And again, stainless steel outer, stainless steel inner, and it has an insulation material between the two liners. And each section comes from the top of your stove, clicks together, and goes all the way out through your roof. If you have a flat roof, it's not a problem. If you have a pitched roof, it's not a problem. Any angle of roof, this will come through the roof with appropriate flashing, rain cap and collar, and give you a perfect chimney top to bottom, and guaranteed for at least 10 years. If you want to run this flue system on the exterior of your building, and if you have white harling, cream harling, or even stonework and masonry, these can be powder coated, as you see in the background here, to literally any colour to match your building. It has to come through from your sitting room, through the wall at a 45-degree angle, where it's connected on the outside, and it goes straight up the wall of your house. If you put it on the outside of the house, it may be cooler with the wind, etc., that the flue system is exposed to. This slows down the gases that are coming from the stove, the hot gases rising up. This will slow it down, so you'll need to give your stove a little more air to counteract that effect, therefore to keep a good draw in your stove. That's the only drawback. Here we have your standard stove installation with your fireplace, hearth, back hearth. Your stove is recessed into a chamber. If you're lucky enough to be able to fit your stove back in the recess like this, there's one or two things you need to keep in mind. You need to have an air gap or a minimum space from the chamber to the stove. Also at the top of the stove to the top of the fireplace. If for instance this fireplace was a wooden fireplace, the stove would be too near because of the hot gases rising, and it could scorch your wooden fireplace, so protection would be required. Starting at the bottom of this installation, you have the hearth. From the hearth, you have the back hearth that's in the chamber. The hearth must extend 300mm in front of the stove. So if your stove was sitting out from the chimney chamber, it means you have a bigger hearth to accommodate that 300mm required. You can line the chamber in many ways. We've done it with a slate here. You can cement render, brick, various forms and decorative panels. You have the wood burning stove itself. Your wood burning stove is connected to the chimney via this vitreous flue pipe. This vitreous flue pipe has to be a minimum 2mm thick. It goes up in here you have the closure plate, and the closure plate stops any heat loss from the room going up your old chimney, and also stops any debris and bits and pieces from your old chimney. This vitreous flue is connected to your flexible liner inside your main chimney and continues all the way up to the top of the fireplace. So you have your minimum sizes at the sides, at the top. You have the stove sitting here. Your stove should have a 50mm gap at the back to allow air circulation around the stove. And remember, if you're burning wood in a smoke controlled area, make sure it has been approved for use in a smoke controlled area. Whether you have a simple extension, a brand new property or an existing property, we here at Firegroup Fireplaces and Stoves are up to date with all current rules and regulations for building control and planning permissions. We can work with designers and architects, project managers, or we can take the complete project on ourselves, where we would design it in-house here and have it fully installed for you. I've touched on a few of the many considerations that you may have for your stove and chimney systems. I know you have many unanswered questions. If you do, come along and see me anytime. Just pop in, or come along on a Saturday morning, round about 10ish, where we regularly have a stove school.